What is up, guys? It's your boy Hercules, and I wanted to talk about that submarine that I believe they think they found debris. So, if you guys don't know, you've been living under a rock. There was a submarine. I believe it was called Titanic or Titan. It was a submarine that was gonna go underneath the water. I believe 12,000 miles or something like that. Don't quote me on that, but basically, what this submarine was gonna do, it was gonna take you down to go see the Titanic. But there is something, or at least there were some major red flags in all of this. Now, if you wanted to participate in something like this, well, you had it to be somebody that had a lot of money. Now, let me tell you this. I don't care if I get the chance to go look at the Titanic, if I get the chance to go out of space, or whatever, or fly in a freaking UFO. I am not risking my life on some shit that has not been proven, that has basically no guarantee that it's gonna work. Because this thing supposedly had no testing at all. And if it did have some testing, it wasn't to the testing of what they were trying to do, which was go underneath all that pressure, the 7,000 psi pressure, to go look at the Titanic. Now, here's something that a lot of people are talking about. Some of the freaks out there are celebrating the death of some of these people because they have oil money or stuff like that. You are you don't deserve any fucking recognition. You are fucking disgusting type of people if you are celebrating these people's deaths because of that. And I've been seeing also some people bringing up that the CEO didn't want to hire any 50-year-old white males. He felt like he needed some diversity and inclusion and BS like that. Look, if that's really what he thought, okay. For me, I'll be very honest. If I see a woman, a young kid, a young man, you ain't giving me no inspiration. I want to see some older men that I know have years spent on shit like this. That have years of experience, not years of experience in a book or in a simulator, years of experience of doing this. Now, the reason why I bring all that up is because it's not because it was a political assassination. No, it wasn't anything like that. It wasn't that anything where the crew, the diverse crew, the equality crew fucked up or anything like that. It all came down, supposedly, we don't know if the debris that they found is what they think it is, but I mean, come on. It just looks like it probably is. Supposedly a couple days ago, or I believe a day ago, they thought they heard in their radar and their the equipment they use to try to identify things. They thought they heard like some knocking, like knocking on metal, right? And they were gonna send out. I believe they were gonna send out some machines to go try to see if that they can find possibly find them. But it was like a small chance that it was maybe them. And I thought I read somewhere where they said if it wasn't them, like basically they were gonna spend this whole time looking at this area. That at the end of the day, it would have been like basically the only one time chance of finding them. Now, how would they save them with all that pressure on the machine and stuff like that? Who knows? Truly, who knows? But when it comes to this submarine, let me tell you why it gave me bad vibes from the very beginning. And even though there might be some people out there saying that, well, the military does stuff like this, they use stuff like this, I get it. I truly get it. Trust me, I get it. I know there are people out there. Hell, there are people out there that buy like old Xbox or PlayStation and they'll just use the motherboard and create something else. Like, I get it. I get it. I understand. But at the end of the day, I don't want to see no freaking PlayStation, Logitech, Xbox controller that looks from the freaking 90s as something that you use to control the submarine. Okay? That's one. Number two, whenever we have to use the bathroom, I don't want it to be right there next to everyone else. Okay? When it comes to spacing in this machine, you had no space at all. And I get it. It was big. I believe they said it was big enough as a bus, sort of. But whenever you really look at it, it was a small ass freaking. It was small, guys. It was like you were squeezed in there with people. What was that? Number three. I'm gonna just say number four. The only way to close this door in a secure possible way was 17 screws from the outside. Now, I've been seeing some people say that supposedly the screws were like very small. And if you really think about it, it makes no sense why they would use small screws. Now, I'm not saying that I saw small screws. I don't know. But if you think about a logic, common sense, you would think you would use bigger screws. That's just my opinion. Whenever in your house they use screws to put your door, you know they usually put those small screws where you lock your door. Those screws don't do anything. They don't. A robber can come and kick that door and get in. Specifically if he's strong enough to kick the door. But even if he's not, he should be able to break the attachment of those screws. When you use bigger, stronger screws, he's going to struggle. Maybe eventually he's going to get it, but he's going to be very weak, or you're going to be able to hear him enough that you're going to be prepared. So those small screws that supposedly they were used to secure the latch door, I don't know. That freaks me out. Makes no sense why they would use something like that. When it comes to the glass, supposedly the glass that was protecting them. From what I've read and from what I saw in some YouTube videos, that it was a plexiglass. Like, it wasn't the strongest glass that you would think they would use. From the sounds of it, it's like they were half-assing this shit. Like, they were just doing it as fast as they could. They were rushing this. They weren't taking every precaution that they should have. And from what I was reading and watching YouTube videos, supposedly whenever they would do like tests or something like that, I don't know if it's true that they were doing tests, but supposedly that glass, that window would sink, would basically like crumble. Like it would crumble, but it wouldn't break. And that the CEO said that, oh, well, we know whenever we are getting into a bad situation, this thing's is gonna crack, and it's gonna give us like a warning, basically like a big warning. And I guess my thought is, they thought like, okay, so if we ever hear that crack, we have enough time that we can start what is it? I guess they can start rising up to the sea level to try to get out of the danger zone. Again, I don't know too much. But it makes no fucking sense why you would even take that risk. You would think a submarine guy, people that have been into those submarines, the military submarines, would be like, hey, I don't think that's a smart idea. Why don't we just actually put what they put in these real submarines and not even have to risk about, well, if it does go bad, we'll hear that crack. You know, it just makes no sense to me. Okay. Final thing. We talked about the controller, the window, the room, and stuff like that. Supposedly, there is a clip out there of this reporter trying to take these, I guess this program. I'm pretty sure he paid. You have to sign a waiver, which makes sense. Why you would sign a waiver? There's a lot of things out there that you can go do that it requires a waiver. That way, in case something does happen, they don't have to basically be responsible, pretty much. This guy waited, and the CEO revealed this multiple times. There were people in the interviews that they were delayed multiple times because of malfunctions on the submarine. Malfunctions on a submarine. And I get it. Every airplane, every car, every whatever you want to call it, every house, there's always going to be malfunctions on something. But I'm telling you, when your whole life is dependent on a submarine that has 17 screws, nuts, and bolts on the outside, and you can't get out, and when you start diving underwater and you start reaching those levels where it's dangerous, it's specifically because you can't get out, you're stuck there, you're in a metal tube, you ain't going nowhere. When you have something that has had multiple malfunctions like that, you start to wonder, why in the hell do people take these risks? And I keep hearing some people say, well, this is how we advance and stuff like that and blah blah blah, and look, I get it. But I guarantee you, well, at least I think, a lot of the guys that have been in submarines and stuff like that, I don't think they would have even taken this opportunity. Like, if this guy was offering them a free ride, I'm pretty sure a lot of these smart guys that he probably didn't give them a chance or stuff like that. Right? And I'm not trying to make it about, it's you think it's because he didn't hire these 50-year-old white men. No. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying, think about this. Would you, out of everyone, imagine going to a ride, to a roller coaster, and every day it's having malfunction, and then all of a sudden, there's no malfunction, you get on it. Are you really going to be safe? Are you really going to trust that, for the past 3 weeks, they've been having malfunction, but now it's working. Now there's no malfunction. Now I'm certified that it's going to work. Hell no, not me. I ain't getting on that shit. But I guess there are some people out there that are willing. And the last thing is, supposedly they found what they believe is some debris of an implosion. So an implosion basically means the explosion happened within inside. I believe that's what they said. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong, but you can find videos out there of gas tanks, how these implosions happen. Basically, it's like if freaking Magneto from the X-Men grabs the freaking gas tank or the submarine, and just with his hands does like the crushing, where he goes like, yeah, and like that thing just crumbles like a freaking whenever you grab a piece of paper and you crumble it up like that. Supposedly that's what they think they found. They think that's probably those people out there. So now what I'm trying to think is, how would that happen? Like, would that be another malfunction out there? Would that be that this submarine really wasn't prepared for all that pressure underwater? I don't know. But if this is it, look, if this is it, it sucks that these people's loved ones died and stuff like that. But I mean, they knew the risk. I would have never taken that risk, but they knew the risk. And at the end of the day, really, there's nothing. There's really nothing the U.S. Coast Guards or anybody out there that was trying to help them that they would have been able to do, because from what I was reading and from some of the, I guess, former submarine people out there, they were saying like, yeah, like even if we find them, there's nothing we can do. It would be a miracle from God that we find them okay and able to pull them out safely. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you guys think down below. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys next time. One thing I would say, guys, before I leave, if you ever think about doing something like this that has the potential of you losing your life, I would say your goodbyes to your family, or at least stuff like that, because you don't want to go through something like this and know that at the end of the day you weren't able to say your goodbyes and stuff like that. Now, me personally, you could lose your life any second of the day, 100%. But when you take risks like this, man, you have a bigger chance of actually losing your life. I'm gonna leave it there. Catch you guys next time.